will now call the April 2nd, 2024 Caddo Parish School Board Special Session to order. Invocation and prayer by Board Member Trammell.
If you bow your heads, please. Our Father and our God, we thank you for right now because that's all that's promised. We thank you for being the everlasting Father, and on yesterday we served and looked around and thank you for what you've done by giving us the right to eternal life. Lord God, we ask you to bless this board. Bless the superintendent in his new adventure, Lord, and let it be done well. Bless all the people that are employed in this system, our students, the parents, and everyone that's concerned. Today we pray that this meeting will be conducted decently and in order, and we thank you for being the God that you are, and we all say, Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. On your board docs, it says that 1.04 is the actual resolution information, but 1.04 is supposed to be for visitors. So we're at the visitor. Yes. If you would like to speak during the session, please fill out a card. The Caddo Parish School Board welcomes your input and comments regarding items that are on the special session agenda. If you would like to speak regarding an item on today's special session agenda, please come to the podium, state your name and address for the record, then make your remarks to the entire board. Please limit your comments to no more than 3 minutes. A time clock on the monitors and screens will help you be aware of your time. When the time runs out, your time is up. It is the board's policy not to respond individually to members of the audience. When appropriate, the board may refer concerns to the staff to be addressed. As this is a public meeting, we ask that you refrain from referring to personnel by name or incident. In accordance with school board policy, derogatory statements about or directed at a school board member, any employee, or any other person shall not be allowed. Ms. Lansdale. Hold on.
I'm Jocelyn Lansdale, President of Riverview United, 1726 Line Avenue, Shreveport, Louisiana. I'm going to read to you my op-ed that we sent to the papers regarding the resolution. I don't think I could write it again any better than we did the first time to express our true views on this. It is public funds for public schools. Don't get us wrong. We have nothing against parents' choice when it comes to private schools, charter schools, or homeschools. However, we are strong supporters of public education. Why? Because we recognize that without it, our children would be left without the educational opportunities that they have today. Before the Civil War, education was limited to those who were fortunate enough to receive it from their parents, caregivers, the church, or boarding schools. Majority of children were left to fend for themselves. It was only after tax-funded public education was mandated by the Republicans in this state that all children had the chance to attend school. And for that, we are truly grateful. Public education is exactly what it sounds like. Education for the public. It serves as a great equalizer and a catalyst for opportunity. It is where our children learn to work and to play together. It strengthens our community. When you witness a struggling community, you will often find that reflected in the school system. Diverting funds from public schools to support private education goes against the principles of a community-minded society, and we will undoubtedly suffer the consequences if we make that choice. Furthermore, choice has always been a cornerstone of Caddo schools since the 1980s when Superintendent Walter Lee implemented a magnet program. These programs have successfully kept our students enrolled in Caddo schools and have played a significant role in maintaining our tax base. Instead of diminishing public education, let's expand on that success. Let's establish real K-12 magnet programs in each of our 12 school board districts and continue to build upon that foundation as it is needed. Let's meet the changing needs of our students and our schools head on. In high schools that are currently underutilized, let's replace outdated programs with dual enrollment and trade apprenticeships in the programs that they will afford. We consider our public school teachers and employees to be the promise of public education. We at the Reverend United see ourselves as the custodians of that promise. We invite you, the Caddo Parish School Board, to join us in upholding the commitment to our children's futures, the success and well-being of the majority of our students and children rely on it. Thank you very much for your time.
Ms. Glover?
Good evening. John Glover, 9100 Walker Road, apartment 217, Shreveport 71118. I want to first of all apologize for not getting that document to you timely. Forgive me for that. The note for me to be able to speak, but I will move beyond that. When I read the information about the educational savings account, I went and I did my research. The first thing I saw was where that program was being exercised in Arizona. And it talked about how beneficial it really was. You know, it allowed parents to, like we say, have a choice. You know, if your children are not attending schools whereby you believe that the resources to bring forth academic success are not there, you get an opportunity to make a choice. Now, it doesn't matter to me how we dress it up, to dress it down and call it choice, because that's what we're doing. When it is that we can say that we can support a charter school, that's choice. Those dollars go with every child that leaves Caddo Parish. Those are taxpayer dollars. You don't get to govern those dollars. Only the state does. Now, you get to oversee some of the standards of those charter schools, but not the dollars. It is very disturbing to know that we are here again today talking about choice and dressing up a program that is supposed to be lent to choice. Do I or would I support taxpayer dollars going to a private entity? Of course not, because I know the effects and the impact that so many children who won't get those opportunities will meet. So I don't need you to dress it up, to dress it down and call it a sale, because it's not a sale for me. What I will say is that if it is, that when such comes forth and we have to oppose it, let's understand why we're here to have to oppose it, because it never had to be if we were indeed seeing true academic success for every child in Caddo Parish, regardless. It does not matter to me about elephants in the room. What matters to me is what a child meets when he goes in that classroom to be educated, a child to be educated, not a demographic, not an economics, but a child, depending on the adults in that classroom to teach them. Caddo has not done a good job. So that's why this choice. But then again, dressing up choice to call it choice is not choice. Thank you.
Thank you. We're now at 1.05. Mr. Mel?
Yes, Madam President, consideration to adopt a resolution expressing opposition to the state legislation establishing education savings account, ESAs, including House Bill 745 and Senate Bill 313, which creates the Louisiana Gator Scholarship Program that provides public dollars for public education, tuition, and educational expenses.
Private.
And private. Okay, thank you, baby. Where am I now?
Private school.
Okay. All righty. That provides public dollars for private school tuition and educational expenses, and to urge the Caddo Parish Legislative Delegation to vote no on any bill proposing an education savings account and otherwise to provide with respect thereto.
Mr. Dixon?
Second.
Mr. Mel, do you have anything to say?
Oh, yes. Madam President, and to the board, as we look at agenda item 1.05 today, its purpose is to focus on seeking a no vote to the bills that were indicated in the consideration there that I just read. But we are to be held accountable for what's done in the public school system. And one of the things that we need to keep our mind is, while all public school students must take LEAP, EOC exams, the current ESA bills have either removed all requirements for academic assessment or allowed for different academic testing methods. I feel like if it's on one side of the fence, it should be on the other. And that's one of the things that we need to think about. And ESA is receiving schools would not receive school performance scores, while public schools will continue to receive grades in one of the scores. While public schools will continue to receive grades, they will not receive any gradings. So how would the parents know how these schools are achieving as it relates to what's going on in the public school system? Now, if you look at the budget concerns and reviewing the proposed budget for Louisiana, it is said to be dead even. And you know this rarely happens. Expenditures are the same as revenue. This is before any ESSA dollars are even considered. Currently, the estimated cost for the ESA, I said ESSA, but that's been in my mind ever since I've been doing this, once at full scale will be another $520 million annually. We have to think about where would this money come from. Now, if we're going to use public dollars to take care of this, which they are considering, let's think about sabotage for the public school system, because we can't figure out a way to take care of what we're doing now. And if we look at Caddo, I can ask Mr. Superintendent, we're starting in the red anyhow, right? In Caddo?
Right, thank you very much, Madam Board Member Trammell. We are in the budget process now, but we fully anticipate that when we remove out all of the ESSER dollars, which do expire this year, that we will see a deficit budget. And of course, staff is working to address that and looking at what are those things that we need to do to address that. But I can fully agree that we are facing a deficit budget.
Okay? And that could cause some other problems for the school district, right? Yes, sir. I'll answer that. Students with disability, okay? Parents of students with disabilities would be required to waive their rights for their students to receive special education services in order to attend schools that would be dealing with ESA. We take these babies, it would seem to me they would have to take them too. But since they can waive the right to do this, who's going to be in control? I know that when you look at it, we're talking about parental choice as a good measure, and then we're talking about priorities for families, and they want to make sure they take care of the system, administrative staff, and they want to be able to tell them how, when, and what happens in the classroom. Now, it could be just that we are dealing with who's in control or who wants to be in control, and that looks like what the final idea of this is. That is one of the reasons that I'm asking you not to involve public education money along with these programs that they're offering that would not include all children. At the end of 2028, 29, they will lift all rules, and this will be open to every child that want to be a part of it. So that means so many kids will be left out. Got to look at it from both ends of the tunnel. So that's why I'm asking you to please consider voting no, voting yes, that they will vote no when they get our resolution that we're trying to send to the state legislative body. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Mr. Trammell. Mr. Dixon?
I could say ditto to what Board Member Trammell says. It's just concerning to me that with the limited resources that public education has, and I don't see this as a solution to helping kids, since they say they're struggling, to send them to schools that have no accountability measures whatsoever. Like Ms. Trammell said, how will we know if they're getting a better education at whatever school they choose if they're not guided by the same standards that the public school system is? And also, when I think about public dollars for private interests, it seems like something, it would be akin to us taking gravel from the parish and putting it in somebody's driveway because we want them to be, and you can't, I don't think I know that's not legal, and I'm trying to see how taking public dollars and propping up private institutions is legal under the law anyway. So I'm opposed.
Thank you, Ms. Bell.
Okay. Now, y'all know as an elementary teacher, I like what Ms. Trammell and Mr. Dixon said is great, and it's happening. But I'm going to break it down as an elementary teacher because this is what I'm going to tell my constituents. And this is what I'm going to tell them, that these bills pose significant threat to the stability and visibility to our public school system. It is taking money from the traditional public schools and put into private accounts. This public fund will cause financial challenges that our public school and the state are projecting to face next year. For public schools, this could lead to an increase in class sizes, reduce resources, lay off personnel, limit educational opportunities for our babies, and close schools. And I've researched these bills with some legislators. When they broke it down for me, we voted, as he said, they said to me, Dottie Bell, we voted as a board member for you to represent and protect the dollars that our parish and voters have committed to public education. Taking public dollars to private schools and other programs through ESAs without fully funding public schools will put our babies, as they said, sweet babies, and schools in a district disadvantage. Unlike traditional public schools, as Ms. Trammell said, and unlike traditional public schools as written, private schools or other educational institutions that participate in this program will not be subject to the same standards and oversight measures of the public that the school system. It does not have to give the same test as public schools. It don't have to follow the same restriction laws as public schools. It will receive performance scores that are available to the public. How can a parent choose as to which school is best for their babies? The lack of accountability is what the private school will not have to do. We have to do it in the public school. The lack of accountability allowed in these bills further create the misuse of taxpayer dollars and undermine effort to ensure that all babies, all these babies, receive a quality education. By providing public funds for private schools, this would primarily benefit families who can already afford to send their babies to private school, while leaving behind the babies from low-income families that rely on public schools for their education. The babies behind I'm thinking about. This, to me, is a form of segregation. We fought this 50 years ago. Now, if this passed, we'll be fighting again to get equal rights for our babies in the public school. Another major concern, as Ms. Trammell said, what about our special need babies? Nothing in the bill is said about them. And like she said, you have to select. Private schools do not have to take those babies. Again, I will say this is it's heartbreaking to see persons that would encourage the legislators to go forth and to do this to our public education system. Also, the bill say it will begin the first year for low-income parents. After the second year, anybody can join it. Now, I prayed hard that the Louisiana Capitol, those people in the Capitol will change their minds and put these babies first. Leave the public education money alone and concentrate on improving education opportunities for them. Put more money into resources. Maintain high-quality education for all students. I'm asking, as my other colleagues asking, please vote. This is a hidden agenda. Please vote to say no, that we do not want this to happen. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Bell. Ms. Green?
Very quickly, this is, to me, y'all, I have to admit to you guys something. Every year, I normally keep up with the education legislation that's put forth, but I've been so focused on the criminal side of what the legislation with the special session, this totally got around me, but I'm so glad we had board members that were aware, and I guess we should send a shout out to Bossier because they put one out first when it really probably should have been us. However, Ms. Bell mentioned some words that I was going to mention: segregation. That's, to me, when I read this is exactly what I felt, because she said it, and I'm going to reiterate it. Private schools can choose who they want to take. They can cherry pick. So you use public dollars to cherry pick who you want to put into a school. And I think that's unacceptable. And I feel like if you want to go to that private institution, you can pay your private dollars. So I believe we should go on. And Mr. Abrams, do you know when this bill is supposed to be voted on? Today. Who has it? Appropriations has it now. So I believe we should follow what I'm getting from other board members around the parish that are doing something similar. They're sending their resolution once and twice a week to let them. I think we should do this. We should follow the same pattern to go ahead and send it. Keep sending, keep sending, keep sending, to let them know that this is something we're adamantly against. So if that can be put forth or to tag along with some notes with this proposal, with this resolution, I'd appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. McLean?
Thank you. I'm listening to y'all's arguments and your points, and I've tried to jot down a few things that are kind of scattered all over my page, so you're going to have to bear with me while I try to collect my thoughts on things. In pretty much every situation in life, If I reach into somebody's wallet and take their money, it's considered stealing. But if the government does it and tells us they're going to put us in jail if we don't give them the money out of our wallet, we call it public dollars. But ultimately, it's dollars they've stolen directly out of our paychecks, and most of us don't see what they've taken out because it gets drafted out before it gets into our bank account. So I don't see this education savings account as a tool of segregation or a tool for students that are thriving in their current school. I don't see all the families at Fairfield and South Highlands and Caddo Middle Magnet jumping up to take advantage of this because those schools are A schools. They're doing fine. I see this benefiting the most are low-income families that are at underperforming schools. How many schools are being considered for a state takeover now? I really don't remember. 7. Because they're doing so poorly. We are failing those students. We are. We're doing our best, but maybe their parents are working 2 jobs and can't make ends meet. Maybe they're coming home every day and their mom is watching them do poorly in school, but she can't afford to send them to another school. There could be a private school across the street from her house, and she may not be able to afford to send her kid there and try to give her kid a different opportunity. And we have tons of private schools around town. They might not freak their students out for the first 4 months of the year over the LEAP test every year. I mean, I get sent home stuff about, if you feel anxious about the LEAP test, just learn how to take deep breaths, sent home with my 3rd grader. The private schools are making it work without doing that. And their kids if they weren't making it work, their kids wouldn't be getting into colleges and they'd have to change something in their curriculum. I don't know that I'm going to change anybody's position on this. It sounds like everyone has their position already made up. But this is a way that we can benefit students at our failing schools. I don't see these private schools as attempting to segregate kids and saying, well, you are the wrong color or you're the wrong ethnicity, the wrong gender, you can't come to our school. I mean, are we really going to accuse our private schools of that? I don't see it. If they're taking away our MFP dollars for these students that choose to do something else, well, it wasn't the government's money in the first place. They're public dollars that they stole out of our wallets to begin with. Those families' wallets who are struggling to make ends meet, whose kids are at a failing school and are trapped in a cycle of poverty, and they don't know how to get out. This could be their way out. Yes, we're going to lose some money in our budget. We have a pretty top-heavy central staff here, I mean, I hate to be the one to point that out. I know me and Jasmine line up on that. You've mentioned it before. But we could find other areas that we can cut money if we lose those students. It's not our job to continuously steal from the public. It's our job to give the children a good education. And if we're not offering a good product, then we need to offer them a different product. This could be it. I think that is all.
Thank you. Dr. Dozart?
Thank you, Madam President. I only have 2 questions. One, has the public ever asked private schools for financial support? No. My second question, and I want to refer back to history and on up to date. Has the private school ever volunteered to fund the public schools? Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Bell?
Okay, I'm going to rebuttal some of the things that, one thing, I'm going to say this, not them. You say private schools are the best schools. How do we know when they are not accountable for their test scores. We do not know if they are A, B, or C, the restrictions that they have on public schools. So I wouldn't know, because you can't tell me every child that go to private schools are A students. Parents decide. Some parents take them now because they want to take the private schools. So I can't say that I can't see that every private school is an A school, because they are not accountable for their grades and their test scores like the public schools. That's one thing, my problem with me, of that. Another thing, yes, I use segregation because I read the thing. The first year when this passed, only they will offer to low income, are the ones you say that are in the A, D, and school, whatever, if they want to. Now remember, that's only 1 year. After the first year, anybody can go. And a private school has the right to select whoever they want. Public school take everybody. So I can't see it. That's what segregation coming in, because that private school is going to take everybody. You talk about magnet, they're going to take magnet school students. And then they're going to be a point that, oh, there's not enough students in this school, let's close this school here, this public school. It's not enough students in this school, let's close this school. Yes, it is a form of new segregation, but I'm not saying just race-wise. I'm saying it for all babies, black, green, blue, and everybody. Until the private school have the same restriction as a public school, we'll never know. So we can't say that every private school in Shreveport is an A school. How do I know? I know because I know some students that go to private schools. Some parents take them out of public school because they don't want to know they need help, and they don't get that help. So don't tell me that. Only thing I'm saying to you, you show me where every private school student can take the LEAD test and make 100, because it ain't happening. Another thing, and I will use that word and say it again, it's nothing but a form of separating schools, and we're going to fight again to make sure we get all the resources we need. And that's what all that money, all the resources going to go. And let's be fair. We have choice here. You can go to homeschool, charter school, private school. Choices all over. Magnet school, choices are here. But there's no way that I will say that those babies that's in the, you claim AF schools, we don't know if they're AF schools or not. That's just something they put together. But show me where every child in a private school is an A student, because you're down in the one. And the 7 schools that are being taken, we don't know if they're being taken or not. We don't know what's going on. You do have problems. It's same way in the magnet school. You got some students in the magnet school that's having a hard time. Yes, you are. So don't tell. So all I say again, we need to look at this thing. It is not going to be fair. For my tax, I was put on this board, I ran 5 times and won. That means somebody believed in me taking care of the public schools. And I'm going to do it till I get off. And it's all about, we are public school people. They voted for all 12 of us because they knew that we was going to take care of the public school. Now here we getting ready. Really, we don't need a board. If we finna put the private schools, the homeschool, who gonna need a board? Because everybody got to make their own decision. So this is what I'm saying. We need to vote no on this opposition until they tell me that every private school is an A school. It's not right and it's not fair for my baby to be at Huntington making his grades on A and then somebody else saying, I don't play that. So I just want to say, I love you, but I tell you one thing. I'm going to watch, my thing is the public school and these babies. And my money going to go where we can help them. I'm finished.
Board members, please don't direct comments to other board members.
I'm not threatening nobody.
I didn't say that. I said do
Oh.
not direct comments to other board members. Do not call their names out.
No, we can't. But you know, we just talk.
Ms. Green.
Well, I better call for this question. I wanted to say something so bad, but I think the points have been made. Yeah, I want to call for the question. Yeah, hey, I was this close to going in again. Hey, but
You got a second? Oh, Dixon, okay.
I second it, yeah.
This is to call for the question in debate. Right.
Oh, no, this is going to the,
At the very bottom, it says call to question.
call for questions, it doesn't say. Scroll down.
We see the motion.
Okay, yeah, it didn't say that on mine.
Just hit these,
Okay,
call for questions.
okay. Thank you.
Don't tell her how to vote, please. Yes, you do.
Wow.
Motion fails.
So
So we're gonna
Katie.
keep debate?
Ms. McLean?
Thank you. I would like to clarify that I don't believe I said that all private schools are A schools, and I don't know that there is a metric for measuring that.
Is it there?
But I do know that we have dozens of failing schools in our system, and we have a metric that we're measuring that with. And this would be for those students. And that's all. But I did not, if I said that all private schools are A schools, then that was not intentional.
Well, since Madam President, since I'm here, then let me just ask a question so I can understand. We are saying, irregardless to what we do, since there is not a metric or a measuring tool for private institutions, homeschool, or whatever other method that you want to use for teaching your children, we've come so close to catching the bar in public schools, and it's the minute that it looks like we are there, something happens. And we don't get it. Then they send us this stuff to let us know where we are and how you're always going to fail if that's the way that it looks. I mean, I've sat in meetings and looked at them change stuff right in your face, and you're still failing. I'm not at a point where I want to say it's okay for us to enroll our children wherever we want to enroll them. But it seems to me the parents that want their children in in private institutions are paying for their children to go to private institutions. If we're going to give the money for them to do it, well and good. We'll give the money for them to do it. But it's still not at a point where we should be saying the public dollars that are set aside for public education should be used for this cause. Sure, we can send our kids anywhere that they want to go if they can pay for it. But since we are looking at funds that should be left into the public arena, that's where I believe the money should be left. I'm not really certain as to why we would even argue that point. If I think that my child is going to be better in one of the parochial schools, I send my child to that school, and I have met many children that are there in these schools. They're not doing that great. Give them something to read. We just had a good opportunity this week where we were dealing with children reading, and they were in some of the real nice named schools. But as far as their reading concept, it was just as poor as some of the kids that are in public schools. What goes around, it happens all over the United States. It's not where you're doing bad or where you see you're doing bad, because I believe teaching goes on in the worst school. Somebody's going to learn something during that day. But I mean, that's just my belief. I'm not trying to convince anybody. That's Mary Trammell saying that. I have seen children that can learn on certain levels, and they can go home and try to apply this. Nothing happened. I've seen other kids that go home. They got 160 words a day that they get in their household. There are some kids get 3 new words a day, and you'd be surprised what they are. So let's weigh this with all the children as we go in mind, and not just some. I'm not trying to convince you to do what I know how I'm going to vote. We can end up doing this. We're in Caddo, and we know we have some issues that we are getting around. But I'm not trying to say that this would be the best thing for the children. We need to be trying to enhance and do better in the educational arena that we are here to take care of. That's my bottom line. I'm through.
Thank you. Mr. Rochelle?
Thank you, Madam President. This is the first time I think I've kind of thought about this is, we normally hear the comment, rules are for thee and not for me. And in this case, this is where the rules are for me, but not for thee. It's a little backwards. I have no problem with competition. I think it's good. It is good. We all ran, we had competition. We had to be on our toes to get elected. Miss Bill, 5 times. There's nothing wrong with competition. I like competition. However, what we have going on here, so when it comes to ESAs, I don't know that I really have problems with them as a whole, but when it is designed in a way that we can have every mandate in the world crammed down our throat, and I have been around long enough on this board to have them crammed down our throats. And then them turn around and bait us and say, well, we're going to give you money for this. And then a year or 2 later, they go, oh, well, sorry, mandate remains, but we're not going to give you the money anymore. Good luck. So it's not that and I know this sounds, there may be some on the board, and I guarantee you, as being the position that I have, there's going to be some I'm going to get an earful for saying that I'm going to support this resolution. And there's going to be some, and I guarantee you I'm going to get browbeat. However, if they want to do this, let's just level the playing field. That's the part that makes this, I can't swallow the pill when the rules are just not the same. And I'm going to say this is, we as a board, we need to be more careful also. And Mr. Umling, this is something that he has pressed on. And I know it's only accident. It appears that it's only just been accidents. We have to be more careful about what books that come in. That's not a good sign to us. And we have thousands and thousands of books. I have no idea how many. It's thousands. So I can see where a book's going to slip through every now and then. We also are going to have to be more careful about the possibility, and Lord, it's hard as a governmental body to walk this line. It's very, very difficult. We have to be careful about any type of indoctrination that we may be getting into, because, I chose to put my children in public schools, and my kids are doing great. I could have gone to private schools, but I chose to go to public schools, and my children are doing great. And I don't want to ramble. That's why I'm going to support the resolution, is because it's not fair. And you know what? That's a comment that we hear teachers, and I know successful teachers use. When a student asks, will you do this for me? No, little Johnny, it's not fair if I do that for you and I don't do it for all of the rest of the students. Well, it's not fair when we get treated this way. It's not fair. And that's my issue with it. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to get an I can feel my backside getting chewed already. But there it is. I put it out there, so thank you.
Is there anybody that hasn't spoken want to speak? Everybody spoke twice, correct? No. You spoke twice. Did you? Once? Ms. Green?
Thank you. Hey, Mr. Rochelle, I'll handle your lightweight.
Please don't.
Hey, but anyway, I go back and Mr. Rochelle made a great point about an even playing field. We definitely need that in order to be successful as a public entity. But I think about when people transfer their children out, they ask for their files. And when you get a lot of times principals, even public school principals, the first thing that they look at is their file. They look at how much trouble the kid may have gotten in. A lot of times that's how they determine whether they take students in. And that's something that that's a tool and a mechanism that I don't want being used with public dollars to determine what child gets in and what child gets out. At the end of the day, you don't want your tax dollars going to private entities. What'll happen is you have kids from everywhere going to different schools, and probably a lot of private schools are going to start popping up. We don't know. But this is scary to me. I don't look forward to this, and I'm glad that we have some support with this resolution. Thank you. Now, that was twice, Ms. Yates. I'm done, and I'm done.
Thank you, Ms. Green. Ms. Tharp?
Thank you, Madam President. I'm going to be very brief. I just want to say that what Ms. McLean said so very well, in my opinion. I am pro-parents. I am parents who I feel like giving them the opportunity to have a choice is important. Some parents who may never have the opportunity. So that's what I'm very pro-parents in this. And so and I think that competition is good. And I think that this would allow us to be the public school to maybe be on our toes a little more, have a little competition. And so those are my thoughts. And I can't say it better than Ms. McLean. She said everything I wanted to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Tharp. We're ready to vote. Voting yes will be to send the resolution. Voting no will be to not send the resolution. Did it come up?
Needed to vote yes, and I made a mistake and did no. But I was trying to catch it. You see, now if I was using a hand signal, I could do it.
Right now it says Steve Umling, no. Jasmine Green, yes. Benita Dozart, no. Mary Trammell, yes. Hold on, I'm speaking. Mary Trammell, yes. Darren Dixon, yes. Christine Thornton, no. Barry Rochelle, yes. Katie McLean, no. Jessica Yates, no. Dottie Bell, yes. Mr. Abrams.
You can do a motion to reconsider and then vote the way you, because you voted no, you were on, well, it's neither side, so either side could re-vote.
Yeah, we gotta revote. We revote.
Do the same thing.
We need to make a
You may
motion,
need to
though.
let him
To
say-
re-vote.
Could he speak louder, so, because they couldn't hear what he said?
Can you speak in your mic, please?
Speaking your mind, they can't hear you.
Neither, since there was a tie vote, either side can request someone can make a motion to re-vote, reconsider at this point in time.
Ms. McLean?
Move to adjourn?
No. Second, I'd like to make a motion.
But you got to vote on that. Now, you got to vote on the motion to adjourn.
What she said? Nobody.
You got, it's a second.
Second.
Right, so you got to vote on that.
no
now.
on
That-
Vote no.
You cannot tell other board members
tried.
how to vote up here. Don't.
That was smart.
Just no.
So you're voting now?
Do not.
Motion.
Board members, you cannot sit up here telling other board members how to vote, please.
Vote again.
Stop.
It's happened before, Madam President, if you don't mind.
I mean, it's an ethical violation. I'm trying to stop it.
We've had ethical violations all the time, and I haven't heard anything said, so let's just deal with it. Voting.
This is voting to adjourn.
Quit.
Okay.
You're the vice president. Stop.
I will do it. Okay, baby. Got it.
Jesus.
All right.
Ms. Trammell?
Okay. Motion to reconsider item 1.05, is that the way to do it?
Second.
And, for a recap, for a revote.
Revote, yeah. Mr. Dixon?
I second.
Ms. Trammell, do you want to speak?
No, ma'am.
Mr. Dixon?
No. That's enough.
Ms.
been
Green?
said.
Let's vote. I'm sorry.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. Wait, we got to vote to revote, and then we have to revote.
Vote to what?
We have to vote to
Reggie, is that correct?
Vote to revote.
we have to vote to revote, and then revote.
Yeah. Okay, you got it. You got it right.
Okay.
Taking back 5 things.
Vote. Okay. This is a motion to reconsider, which means it comes back under debate. It doesn't necessarily go directly to vote, correct?
That's what.
That's a legal question, so I want to make absolutely that is Robert's rules. Okay.
You want me to reword that?
No,
I don't think so.
I don't know that I don't have no idea if it's necessary on there, but it's just, it's a vote to reconsider, not to revote at this point in time.
You probably just grab your chair, too.
That thing was messed up. Yes. Okay? She got it? Oh, he got to bring it all the way back up, baby. It's okay. What we go back? Do the motion again?
No, we ain't doing nothing yet.
We just got to wait till we get a vote. Can you scroll up with it, maybe?
Move to adjourn.
You voted yes.
No, we gotta go do it all. It's 5. It's 5.
Ms. McLean?
Move to adjourn.
I want that back to stitches, no.
Dottie, you voted no to revote.
Huh?
You voted no to revote.
Oh, my gosh.
I did not do that.
You voted no
Yes,
to
you
revote.
voted
You were
no.
the fifth person. You were the fifth person.
No, I did not. Oh, that's a mistake. No, sir.
Can we-
What town is this?
No.
No, sir. No, sir.
Can
No,
we-
sir. Let's go back. Let's go back to this. Let's do it.
Wait,
That was-
wait, wait.
It's something wrong with these two machines. Okay, I'm telling you. It's something wrong
She's
with
on the
it.
board.
That's why I voted yes.
What did she say?
I get yes.
Just use your hands.
Let's do hands.
Use your hands. This doesn't.
No, sir. I hit yes. No way. No way.
Let me use my hand. I've been saying that all the time.
Let me do part of.
Point of order.
Get your gavel.
Okay?
Sir.
This may be another legal question,
Okay.
okay?
No, sir.
This is a legal question. I'm asking the attorney. We've had a vote. Board member disagrees with what is on the tally. How does that work?
We'll do that in 10 minutes.
Oh, no, sir.
We're going to take a 10-minute recess.
It's something happened to me. I know what I. Okay, we back. Where's Jasmine?
I'm not sure.
Okay, on the
we
Robert's
have quorum.
rules, which I didn't have my version with me, but we do have an ancient version that was sitting up there at the front, so. It basically says under section 44, page 345 of this edition, which has not been changed. Changing one vote. A member has a right to change his vote up to the time the result is announced. After that, he can make the change only by permission of the assembly, which can be given by general consent or by adoption of a motion to grant the permission, which is undebatable. So the answer is, the rest of the body would have to give an okay for Dottie Bell to change her vote. Or if there's no consensus, then you have to vote to allow her to change her vote. But there's no debate. Okay? Y'all got it?
So do we just vote to change her vote?
I think I would just ask if anyone
You have to ask him.
objects to her changing her vote.
Does anyone object to Ms. Bell changing her vote?
So you can vote. What do you vote now?
That's consensus right now.
Okay, so now you got to vote. Now you vote. Now you vote.
So
So you
now
don't
we,
have consensus if somebody says they know, that they're not going to allow it. So now you have to vote on whether or not to allow her to change her vote.
Okay, y'all vote.
Now you voting on it.
But
I'm watching. Get it off of that piece of paper.
I'm gonna say it loud too when I
Can you
vote.
please come help Ms. Bell?
I'm gonna say loud. Because I know it's the technology part of it. Okay, be ready.
She's typing it up.
When she type it up.
I need to make sure I read what a yes means to, so the yes is to let her, to let Ms. Bell read.
So we're voting on this, if Ms. Bell.
Can change her vote, correct.
In which vote is it?
That's the vote to reconsider.
No, you gotta vote on it.
Okay, last thing I saw, mine said adjourn.
No, you got to go over the resolution. We gotta vote on the resolution. Oh, well, I changed my vote. You're right.
To change the vote.
Then you count, when they count my vote.
And there won't be any debate, it's just going to be a vote.
Not revert when it passes.
That's right, there's no discussion on this.
Who's made a motion to do
It was just done.
I don't think it has to be a motion. It's by Robert's rules. It doesn't have to be a
it? I
motion.
have to, so I guess I'll put
Bell.
Put Ms. Bell.
Ms. Bell.
Oh, y'all got me down in big letters. Put it in big letters.
You did. Ms. Bell, second.
Mr. Mel, do you want a second?
Yeah.
Mr. Mel?
Thank you. We're voting to allow Ms. Bell to change her vote.
You'll be right here with me.
Your whole name. And look at that, it ain't that bill, now you see it?
I see it, sweet baby. And I'm hidden. I'm hidden. I know I said that.
Okay, well now,
I'm
look
looking.
at one person who did it.
Now, change it again. Okay, what did happen, Steve?
You ready?
No.
No, we're not ready.
Is he need some
This on the
sense
last
order?
day we
Can you
voted
say
on.
clarity?
It says at the very bottom, vote to,
What are we voting on
I'm-
exactly so I can?
I'm reading
my
it.
Screen is correct.
at the very bottom of your screen, it says, vote to allow Dottie Bell to change her vote.
It does not.
Scroll down on that piece of,
Do you see where it says that? It says
on
it
your
right
box,
above where it
scroll all the
says-
way down to the very bottom.
Oh, I see.
Where?
She can click in there and scroll to the bottom. Yeah, see?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
See there? Now, what is it now?
Yeah, it's gonna be 10 o'clock before we go.
That's all right. We stayed at the 12 one time.
So the motion passes. So Bell gets to revote.
You get to revote.
We get to revote.
No, she changed her vote, it's now 6-4 to continue the debate.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
What's 7-3?
No. You're talking about the original vote. Since this came up, yes, you're saying that changes the other vote to 6-4?
It's now 6-4. As
Agree.
long as she changes, actually, I guess we vote again now. We now will,
Vote on the
no, we don't vote again.
Mr. Abrams,
We allowed her to change her vote. We don't get to vote again. We allow her to
You
change.
allowed her to change it,
That was it.
so now it is under reconsideration.
Now for the original.
Now, what we on now?
we don't know.
On consideration to adopt a resolution expressing opposition to the state legislation
Right.
establishing education saving account,
And we can, and the debate continues.
Yes, if you.
Correct.
want to talk.
Tell them what we voted, yes.
So you got 2 times
Still has
each.
the same- It's still Darren
It's
Dixon.
Darren Dixon.
It's back, you're back to the original.
We'll get back to it, okay, say it again.
Ms. Trammell, do you have anything?
No, ma'am.
Mr. Dixon, do you have anything?
Enough has been said.
Mr. Umling?
Oh, he was on the board, okay.
Mr. Rochelle?
Yeah, thanks.
Never mind.
Okay.
Please vote.
You ain't tell me what
The motion.
Now, this is either to
This is the
support
original vote.
resolution or not support the resolution.
Okay, I know I'm putting this here. Now, don't you see it, a witness, okay?
What happened?
A witness. You see it? Hey, what up there with me? I wanna make sure.
Mr. Mel?
Move to adjourn.
Second.
And go into
Please vote to adjourn.
I'm voting, I don't want to adjourn, I love y'all. I'm voting no.
Well, you got a whole nother meeting to do with.
I will vote no,
It's not like
Katie.
you're
I
going
wanna
to.
hear you again.
Oh, wait.
Now y'all gotta check
Hold on.
y'all gotta.
Mr. Abrams?
I just want to make a comment. This Robert's Rules that we're looking at, that's all faded yellow and everything, was donated to the Caddo Parish School Board on April the 9th, 1970. And it was Caddo Parish School Board at 501 Courthouse, Shreveport, Louisiana. But that still was current as far as that particular provision is concerned. But anyway, it's a historic book that hadn't fallen away.
Thank you. Hold on, I gotta go to the other meeting. You need to,
Who gave us this? Who gave the book to us?
Let's go into the meeting, my baby.
1970, y'all. I was,
you need to go into the other meeting.
okay, baby.
Featured.
This will take 8 minutes.
I got you, okay. Yeah, gentle.
We will now call the April 2nd, 2024 executive work session to order. Invocation and prayer has already been done. Will the executive committee please respond to roll call?
She'll do that.
I will now hand over presentations to Superintendent Dr. Gorey.
Thank you very much, Madam President. I will now go through our proposed agenda for our April 16th, 2024 Caddo Parish School Board meeting. Item 6.01, there's nothing there. Item 6.02, personnel leave, certified and classified. Item 6.03, personnel resignations, and that's certified and classified. Item 7.01, capital projects bids. There are 5 that are scheduled to be opened before the meeting. 7.2, there's nothing there. Item 8.01, property bus rental request. Item 8.02, consideration to approve resolution and to extract of resolution to request for the Louisiana State Mineral Board's advertisement. Item 8.03, consideration to approve renewal of the lease agreement between Louisiana Tech University and Caddo Parish School Board for continued use of the Caddo Virtual Academy facility. Item 8.04, consideration to approve lease agreement for Worley Observatory. Item 8.05, consideration to approve revisions to Policy EBBC, Emergency Crisis Management, Policy EBCB, Video Audio Monitoring of School Board Property, and the to remove Policy EBBI, and that's Public Health Emergency. Item 8.06, consideration to approve the listing for sale of the Whitehall property. Item 8.07, consideration to approve the First Amendment to the agreement to buy and sell Barrett Padilla Academy. Item 13.01, there are none there. Item 13.02, request for settlement authority, and that's claimant Mariah Corbin, suit number 640317-A. Date of losses was 11/18/2021. Claim number 7205257. Thank you, Madam President.
Yeah. Six 6.01.
Nothing there.
Oh,
No.
sorry. 6.02. Consent. 6.03. Consent. 7.01, not open yet. 7.02, nothing there. 8.01, consent. 8.02. 8.03, consent.
No, I have a question on that.
Eight-
Never mind, keep going.
8.04, consent. 8.05, consent. 8.06, consent. 8.07, consent. 13.01 is blank. 13.02, consent. Yes, consent.
So now you got your question. You got your questions now.
Huh?
You got to
Yeah.
go down and see who has questions on something.
We'll go back to 8.02. Who had a question on that one? Ms. Green?
Oh, real quickly, I remember this being still in committee. We didn't let it out of committee, but it's on the agenda. It must be very time sensitive, Mr. Greer.
That's correct, Ms. Green. It was time sensitive in the sense that, the information that we were charged with going back and finding out per questions from the Building and Grounds Committee meeting, we did research that information. And so we were also able to get an increase on the price per acre.
Oh, okay, all right, much better. Okay, then. Well, look, in the spirit of you're going to hear me say this a whole lot throughout the next several months. In the spirit of transparency, I want to leave it off consent for right now because I want to gather some information. Because I have the old north side, which is 12 acres, I see on here, and I may have some more questions or some input about that. So in the spirit of transparency, I ask that we just leave it off for right now. I'm not sure how I feel when the meeting comes along, but for right now, I want to leave it off.
Yes, sir. Mr. Rochelle?
Okay, and I'm actually going to 7.01.
There's nothing there.
Well, there is,
Or
we
maybe-
just,
Yeah.
I just have some questions still on. I know we don't have the bids in, but I have some questions on the fourth item, Broadmoor Health Clinic.
Mr. White, you want to come forward? I'm going to invite Mr. White forward to.
Actually, this question's probably going to be more directed to you than it would be to him, is on the health clinic, who's participating with us on that? Is Willis Knighton participating with us?
It's not Willis Knighton. You want to speak to that probably?
That's the David Rain Center in conjunction with Ochsner Health Systems.
Really?
Yes, sir.
And all of our centers have pretty much been David Rains and Ochsner partnerships.
Okay. All right, well, that's good to know. Okay, so number two, this is a targeted question. How many students are in Broadmoor?
Oh, I don't know that exact number. It's a pretty large number. Ms. Woolfolk, would you get that number? If you don't have it, let us get that exact number. I don't want to guess. My guess is going to be 865. Let's see how close I am.
Okay, 865, okay.
That's my guess.
Over or under? I'm gonna say you're over. Okay.
Over. I think I may be a little over.
Okay.
Do you have it, Ms. Woolfolk?
We're looking it up. It's
Okay,
8:02, we
and-
believe.
What is it?
It's about 8:02. We're looking it up to be sure.
Okay. Okay.
Tomato, yeah. That's not bad for 55 schools.
That really is not too bad. Okay, and I can't find the email. I've sent an email, and I sent it to you, Dr. Gorey. I don't know if you got it or not. I can't find where it
Dr.
actually...
Gorey is 776.
Okay. Thank you.
Now I'm not giving you much credit. You were pretty far off. Okay. All right, are we just doing each one at a time at this point in time? That was my question on that one. I have another question also, but it's on a different one.
Oh, yeah.
Understand the question.
You mean like which items? Because we're still at 7.01, correct? Or are you trying to go to a different item, action item?
No, I'm done. 7.01, I'm done.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
So do you want to go to the next one, Ms. Yates, President Yates?
So that can go, not yet.
Okay.
No, there's still no, okay, bids yet.
8.03. Ms. Bell?
Okay, to me, why, okay, all I said, I suggest that y'all please vote for that, because that lease agreement for fire, that's a nice place over there. We don't have to spend that much money, and we talking about now, how much money? What, we gonna go buy a new building? Well, this is, already established, and we asked them for like 5 years, 4 years, the lease.
It's a one-year lease. It's a year-to-year lease is what is the
Year-to-year
agreement
lease?
that we have with them, yes.
Okay, and to me, like we talking about money all the time, the place is already
Is it a
set up.
4-year, okay, let me stand corrected.
It's for a 4 year, that's what I read.
Is-
1-year renewals.
One-year
Right,
renewal.
but it can be renewed every year, but it's,
Yeah.
you're right.
So I
Thank
think
you.
that we just need to go on and keep that right there, because you keep talking about we don't have this, that, and I think that, I think that the amount we pay a year, the amount we pay a year, Mr. Greer, Dr. Gorey? How much?
Let's go with Mr. Greer.
How
Ms.
much?
Greer, your mic's not on, sir. Hold one moment.
It's $2,000 a month, equates to $24,000 a year.
That is nothing. And then we gonna sit here, take it away, and go where? Put it somewhere else? I hope we consider in keeping it, and, they didn't put it on consent. So that's what I'm saying, I'd like to put it on consent. Somebody did say not to put it on consent. Okay. Barry Rochelle is on there to talk.
Are you,
And Katie.
are you done?
I'm done.
Mr. Rochelle?
Okay, do we know how many square feet we're leasing?
It's Yes, Mr. Greer. Go to Greer, please. Let's get going.
I can get that number for you, Mr. Rochelle, but we have the run of the entire facility.
Okay, and do you just even have an estimate of how big it is? Just ballpark it.
Probably upwards of about 10,000 square feet.
10,000 square feet?
Yeah.
Okay. well-
Upwards.
Okay.
I can get the exact number for you.
Okay.
I can
well,
have that for you
if it's-
tomorrow.
If it's even over 2,000 square feet,
Oh, it's much bigger than that.
yeah, it will, then it's a good deal. Does our lease, do we have a bunch of maintenance that we have to do on it also? I know how our leases go back and forth. Are we responsible for much of the property?
Up to this point, maintenance has been virtually minimal. We've had some areas where we've modified, and they've worked with us faithfully on that to kind of make sure that we've made it and kind of fashion it to be our own, to fit our needs as far as space. But maintenance has been minimal.
Okay, so we are responsible for maintenance?
That's correct.
So, okay. all right,
That's
so-
correct.
I'm
And we
just-
also, I didn't mean to cut you off, we also work with them. They do once a year rather, inspection, so they coordinate with our maintenance and repair team to walk the facility and just to kind of get feedback to see how things are going and if there's any other needs beyond just preventive maintenance.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'm fine with that one being on consent now.
So where you go?
Ms. McLean?
Thank you. Last year, when this came up for consideration, I was all for ending the lease in an effort to save money because we have so many buildings. But I got so many calls from parents telling me how wonderful of a facility this was and how horrible and tragic this would be, and they mean it. This is a really incredible facility. I gotta say, I'm with Board Member Bell, and I feel like we should go ahead and put this on consent if everyone else is in agreement, because this is just a really great thing that Caddo has going for it. And yes, and as Board Member Rochelle says, it is a great deal.
So add it to the consent?
Yes.
6.02 consent, 6.03 consent, 7.01 not open. 7.02. Is it blank? I don't have my sheet. 8.01 consent, 8.02 no consent, 8.03 consent, 8.04 consent, 8.05 consent, 8.06 consent, 8.07 consent, 13.02 consent. Yes, ma'am. No.
Okay, move to approve the proposed agenda and consent agenda for the April 16, 2024 Caddo Parish School Board meeting as presented. Barry?
Second.
I'm checking my vote.
You're not in the right thing.
Oh, okay, let me go back, okay. I got you, babe. Checking my vote. Oh, go back, I go back to this way, baby. I ain't want no spacious section, I ain't want that. Okay. Okay, look at this thing keep coming up. I'm hitting yes. I bet I'll be watching this from now on. Ready for me? I have a special.
I think we're the, no. We're now at number 8, poll the audience. The Caddo Parish School Board welcomes your input and comments as we, hold on.
Could I have a, can I do a point of pressure?
Hold on, hold on.
Please. Yeah, okay.
The man 50.
It's okay?
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Dixon, the board, we are very sorry about the loss of your mother.
Thank you.
And we just want you to know that we care for you, and we want you to say we love you. All of us love you, and we're praying for you.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. We're back to the visitor section. The Caddo Parish School Board welcomes your input and comments as we poll the audience regarding items that are the subject of the upcoming board meeting. If you would like to speak regarding an item that is the subject of an upcoming board meeting, please come to the podium, state your name and address for the record, then make your remarks to the entire board. You do not need to fill out a card. Please limit your comments to no more than 3 minutes. A time clock on the monitor screens will help you be aware of your time. When the time runs out, your time is up. It is the board's policy not to respond individually to members of the audience. When appropriate, the board may refer concerns to the staff to be addressed. As this is a public meeting, we ask that you refrain from referring to personnel by name or incident. In accordance with school board policy, derogatory statements about or directed at a school board member, any employee, or any other person shall not be allowed. Thank you. Ms. Lansdale.
But nevertheless, I did want to bring to your attention an item that was on the agenda, 8.05. I'm hopeful to have an opportunity to visit with this with the attorney and with your security director on the video audio. There is a concern whenever the police department gets involved on a campus, if they're assigned there, and how that is handled. With children's one thing, and there is a protocol for that, but when you have an employee and have the police involved with that, there has to be a different protocol. We already have investigation procedures that have to be followed, and want to see how those marry with each other. I know you put it on the consent, and I pray that you will consider taking it off if we don't get this matter resolved. I think we will, but if we don't get it resolved before we get back to the next board meeting. And I was going to say, just very quickly, there's something I wanted to clear up. There was something that was said that the Superintendent's Association came back and said that we were doing a trade-off, the organizations were, with the dues deductions and with the education savings account. That didn't happen. It wouldn't happen. As the leader of a professional organization, that's like throwing the baby out with the bathwater. We would not want to do that to the very profession that we are charged with supporting and guarding and guiding. So I wanted to make sure that you knew that that would not be something that we would ever do. And the last thing I want to tell you, I'm a mother of 4, and I did that. And a grandmother of 9, and I have lived over this country. I have been at rural schools. I have been at urban schools. My kids have been in magnet schools, private schools, you name it. And guess how they perform? The same. Every single place. It really isn't about about the school. It's about you as a parent. It's about you as your child and your engagement with your child. Now, if you could fix that, you'd fix this thing. But, I just want to let you know that you're here, you're charged with, just like sitting here and listening to me for 2 seconds, you're charged with that as a board, and it's not about politics. It really is about what that you looked at in your manual. There is a big section in there that tells you what you're supposed to be doing. And anyway, that's part of this today. I appreciated you. I sat here as you muddled through that. I appreciate the fact that you're letting me muddle through this. Thank you.
Thank you.
John Glover, 9100 Walker Road, apartment 217, Shreveport 71118. I want us to turn our attention to agenda item 7.01, particularly the Broadmoor Health Clinic. Can someone tell me why are we having health clinics at our schools? I mean, I just don't understand the logic. why it is there, because oftentimes when our children are sick, depending on the circumstances and situation, parents are responsible to provide those attentions whereby the children are to be taken care of with regards to illness. So I'm just bewildered why we having all these health clinics at our public schools. If someone could, I know you can't tell me anything today, but I would really love to understand why it is that we're supporting such an endeavor. Thank you.
Thank you. Board member announcements. Dr. Gorey.
Thank you very much. Not a board member, but I do have an announcement that I want to let the board know that, I often talk about my son, Morgan, who, when we transitioned here 10 years ago, was a junior in high school. And that's a big deal as a parent to move a child that late in their high school years. But he came, he went to Captain Shreve. I often talk about Dr. McCall and the entire team there and what wonderful care they took of Morgan and prepared him. He went off to LSU. He did wonderful there, graduated in 4 years from there, and just super, super excited to announce that on April 13th, our son, Morgan, will receive his doctorate of chiropractic medicine from Parker. So great things truly do come out of Caddo, and I am super duper proud, and I'll say it in any statement that I write when I talk about this district. The thing that I'm most proud of is the way they educated my two children. So I thank this board too for empowering the teachers and the schools to do a wonderful job of educating children every day. Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Dozart.
Thank you, Madam President. I just want to thank Caddo Parish School Board for getting such dynamic technicians. My hands are at the point where they are allergic to electric or something. It's just, it messes up. And I just want to thank you all.
Mr. Mel. Oh. Do you got an announcement?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
a real one. Madam President, I don't know whether or not this is supposed to be done, but I'm doing it. I'm a seasoned saint, and I've been around a long time. But the news in the last couple of days has been heartbreaking for Caddo, and we may not want to recognize, but I don't want anyone to shed any tears. I just want to say this, that it's been a great journey. We did our best with each other, and we still got some more things to do. I'm not calling anyone's name, but if you look to my right, you'll understand exactly what I'm talking about. Good things come to those that wait, and sometimes people wait too long, and they don't realize when there's a good thing in the house. So I know we've got a few more months to do this, budget to go through. Wait a minute, I thought I'd never say this. Schools are closed. We got so many things that we need to do, and I saw it on a movie one time. I think it was something like, frankly, Charlotte. Some people would say that, and then it was something else that would go with it. But I'm not saying that part. But I'm going to say this: wherever you go, Dr. Gorey, and whatever them people done told you where you trying to go, you remember that you are Caddo. We certainly want to keep you on high hopes. I know it's early to say these kind of things, but remember this: I'll keep a pot on the stove for you. So you take care of yourself and do what you got to do. And remember, the more love you can give us, we certainly appreciate it. Okay, God be good.
Thank you, Mr. Mel.
Okay.
Mr. Rochelle.
Move to adjourn?
Second.
June, Second. I'll be at the graduation.